Stretching the neck and thoracic regions. Firstly, the neck. When we think about stretching the neck, there's one thing we have to remember: where the musculature of the neck goes and where it comes from. In general, we can think of the neck musculature as coming from the chest or the shoulder region and going upwards into either the neck or the head. Now this is important because what we want to do is anchor our chest and shoulder whilst moving the head in order to stretch the musculature in the neck. So the first thing we do, anchor the shoulder and chest. To do this, take the arm on the same side that you want to stretch, bring it behind you, and then push it away. So if you're using on the right side, take your right arm, bring it behind you, and push it over to your left side. Try and grab hold of something strong and stable. Now that should hopefully bring your shoulder back and down, and that will anchor your shoulder there. Now once we've done that, then we can move our neck in all sorts of ways. Now there are lots of stretches. I'll just go through 3 specific ones for you. The first one is for your upper trapezius muscle. It's a big muscle that runs from the tip of your shoulder and it goes up to right in the back of your head all the way down to your mid-thoracic region in this trapezium shape. Now, to stretch it, we again have our arm anchored, so back and behind you. Then we turn towards the side we want to stretch. So we turn towards the side we want to stretch, and then we lean forward. So we turn and lean forward. You can increase the stretch with your hand by turning, leaning forward, and then applying a little bit of pressure. That is upper trapezius. Next, levator scapulae. The levator scapulae is a small muscle that runs from the top of your shoulder blade, right on the very point, up into the back of your neck. To stretch it, again, have your shoulder anchored behind you, and then, instead of turning towards the side we want to stretch, we lean away. So we lean away and then lean forward. And again, you can use your hand to add a little bit of pressure. So that's levator scapulae. The final one I'd like to talk about are the scalenes. The scalenes are a group of 3 muscles that run from your top ribs up into the side of your neck. They're often very tight from accessory breathing, where we breathe through our chest. To stretch them, again, have the shoulder anchored by bringing it back and away. This time, lean away from the side you're stretching, but unlike before where we leant forward, this time look up to the ceiling. You can add a little bit of a twist if it feels better, but we're really looking for that extension backwards, and you should feel the stretch in the side of your neck. That's the scalenes. But a good general principle to know is have your shoulder anchored and then move your neck around. You'll be able to feel where your neck feels tight. You'll feel that very acute tightness, and that will be a very good stretch for you. So although there are specific stretches for specific muscles, have a play around with gently moving your neck around until you can feel exactly where you need to stretch. Now when you stretch it, be careful not to really be forceful with the stretch. The muscles are already tight, and by putting more pressure, they are prone to over stretching and tearing. So just be gentle, find the stretch, hold the position for a while, and hopefully it should start to ease off, and then you can push it ever so slightly further. Another note to have is your neck posture whilst you stretch your neck. Now I've talked previously about good neck posture and how the front of your ear should try and be in line with your clavicle. Now we should also try and achieve this position while stretching the neck. So we don't want to stretch our neck muscles with our head in the front here, so we don't want to be stretching like this. We still want to have a nice posture as we're stretching. So stretching in line with the chest again. This will make sure that we're only stretching the muscle, not stretching the muscle and working the muscle. So that is another tip. Now let's move on to the thoracic region, your chest and mid-back region. The first muscle I'd like to work on is the pectoralis minor, or your pec minor for short. It's a small muscle that runs from the front of your shoulder to the top few ribs. and its role is rounding the shoulders forward, which is often why it gets very tight very easily. Now it's very simple to stretch. All we need is our arm behind our head and at 45 degrees. It's easily done by taking the palm of your hand in the back of your head. You can do one side at a time or two sides at a time. Now, in this position, you can simply push your chest forward. Now, if that isn't enough of a stretch, you can have that behind and 45 degree position and then place your elbow against a wall or a door frame and then push forward. That should give you a deeper stretch. Now, another muscle I'd like to stretch is the rhomboid muscles. The rhomboids are two muscles in between your shoulder blades. Their job is to bring the shoulder blades forward. Now, to stretch them, we need to do two things. We need to bring the arm across our body, adduction, and then we need to twist as well. So by bringing our arm across the body and twisting, we stretch the rhomboids. Now this is simple to do by simply pointing and twisting. But if this isn't enough of a stretch for you, you can do this additional stretch. Sitting in a chair with your legs apart, take the arm on the same side you want to stretch, bring it between your legs and try and push it behind you. So if you're sitting in a chair with four legs, take your arm and try and reach to the leg on the other side and in the back. So if you're stretching your right arm, try and grab the back left post of the chair. That should anchor your arm in place. Now in this position, we then want to try and twist back to our original position whilst our arm is locked in place. What this will do is it will pull your arm in one way and your arm is attached to your shoulder blade. So your shoulder blade and arm will be pulled one way whilst your spine is trying to rotate in the opposite direction. And the muscle in between, the rhomboids, will therefore be stretched. So that's a good stretch for the rhomboids. Now, you can also actually stretch the actual spine of your thoracic region. To do this, what we want to do is try and block part of the thoracics whilst we then distract and move away the part above. Now this is often what you might do on a foam roller. If you simply lie down on a foam roller and then tuck your chin in, you're doing the same principle. Alternatively, you can be seated on the floor with your back against a bench or a box. And from here, we simply bring our arms behind our head, similar to the pectoralis minor stretch, and then we simply try and tuck our chin in ever so slightly. So we're not trying to really be forceful with this movement. Being gentle is the key. So simply lie on a box or a bench where the edge of that box or the bench is in between your shoulder blades, arms behind your head, and then simply try and tuck your chin in. That should hopefully give you a nice stretch between your shoulder blades in your thoracic spine. Thank you.